Districting fight is losing to Al Green. You see the votes right there, 62% for Green, 34% for Bell.
Almost to a 2-to-1 margin. The 9th Congressional District looks like this. It runs from far west Houston all the way to the Texas Medical Center. And African Americans make up more than 60% of the voters in that district.
Whichever candidate wins the Democratic primary tonight can be practically penciled in to win the general election.
Live team coverage on District 9. Rashonda Tate is with the Al Green camp tonight.
But we begin with Ned Hibbert at the Chris Bell Watch Party live in Southwest Houston. How's the mood there tonight, Ned?
Well, Mike and Melissa, here's the deal. The Bell camp knew that early voting might well come in for Al Green. They were hoping once the precincts started coming in, those votes would turn around and Chris Bell would find himself on top. It remains to be seen if that will happen. First, let's do a little bit of history now. You talked about the fact that Bell has been holding and has held for one term the seat in District 25. Well, the new maps yanked that district right out from under him and moved it far away from Houston. So now he is running in the newly created District 9.
I'm Chris Bell. Sure would appreciate your support.
District 9 encompasses about half of Congressman Bell's current District 25. But much of the area that has been added includes a substantial African-American electorate.
Chris Bell for Congress. All right.
A very diverse district like this needs a representative who's going to reach out to every community that makes up the district, and try to identify their needs and concerns and work very hard to address those needs and concerns.
The new district is compact but includes communities as varied as the Medical Center, Sharpstown, Gulfton, Sunnyside, Reliant Park, Missouri City, and Alief. It does not include Chris Bell's current residents. The Democratic congressman says the Republican redistricting plan left his neighborhood out on purpose. But if he wins tonight, he'll pick up and relocate to the 9th district.
We'll move this summer, the process, and see how things go tonight. Provided we're victorious, I'll immediately begin the process of trying to find a new home within the district. And obviously I've already been looking. It's just that this was a very condensed campaign schedule, and it was almost impossible to take care of everything that needed to be taken care of.
After all, the new district was finalized less than 2 months ago. Now, as you mentioned, whoever wins this primary tonight is all but certain to win that seat in Congress. This is a district that votes about 70% Democrat, only 30% Republican. We'll see how it goes. Reporting live in Southwest Houston, I'm Ned Hibbert, Fox 26 News.
Thanks, Ned. Very important night for the Democrats. Now to the other major contender in this race, former Harris County Justice of the Peace, Al Green.
Rashonda Tate is live in Southwest Houston with the latest from his camp. Rashonda?
Well, Mike and Melissa, you saw those numbers, but I tell you, one person who those numbers come as no surprise to is Al Green himself. He was confident that he would prevail as the top candidate in such a heavily minority-populated district.
Vote Al Green to Congress. The polls close within 1 hour.
It was a day spent getting the word out.
I need your help today. All right.
Trying to get voters to the polls, and for Al Green, trying to get voters to vote for him. At it since 5 this morning, Green said he wouldn't stop until the last poll closed.
We can't take anything for granted. This could be a very close election, and every vote counts. That's why we want to be right out here and let people know that we're serious about it and we need their help.
Green is trying desperately to become the 40th member of the Congressional Black Caucus, representing residents of the newly created District 9.
That I'm capable, competent, and qualified. I've served many of them for 26 years as a judge of their justice court. I'm very much familiar with the issues.
Pulling for you, baby.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah.
In a district that is over 70% minority, Green says he is the man for the job, and not just because he's black.
It's not the color of skin, it's the character within that determines the worth of men. And I believe that I'm a worthy candidate. It just so happens that I'm a minority.
Green got in the game late, but he's worked around the clock to get the word out. He knows his competition is stiff, but believes in the end, voters will turn to him to be Houston's next congressman.
We had a short window of opportunity to put together a full-scale campaign. I believe we've done that. The people that we're talking to are very positive, and I think we're going to get a positive response. And at the end of the evening, I think we'll be able to claim victory.
Now, one of the things we noticed when we were out with Al Green today, many of the people that came by, he had actually presided over their marriages. They had been in his court many times over the last 26 years. And Green was hoping that that loyalty would translate into votes. How it all turns out, of course, we'll keep an eye on it and let you know how it develops. Reporting live from Southwest Houston, Rashonda Tate, Fox 26 News.
We are also following the re-election bid by an embattled state senator who recently admitted to infidelity.
A voter update now on that race. Mario Gallegos is the incumbent in State Senate District 6, and he leads challenger Yolanda Navarro Flores in the Democratic primary, but it's awfully close right now for the incumbent senator. He leads by 52% to 47%, but this is only the early voting being reported at this time. Fox 26's Isaiah Carey is live at the Gallegos Watch Party, where it has been quite a day for the incumbent senator. Isaiah?
Absolutely, Mike. Senator Gallegos just walked into his campaign headquarters and greeted supporters, thanking him for their support, but he is in the battle of his life for this Senate seat race in District 6. Yolanda Navarro Flores spent her day at the polls pressing the flesh in an attempt to become the next senator in District 6. The mother of two, an attorney, says she hopes to pave a way for the future in the district.
Our children deserve clean air, and they deserve clean playgrounds, and they deserve somebody who will make sure that those kinds of things don't get settled into Senate District 6 without protest and without a fight.
But her battle is to unseat longtime Senator Mario Gallegos, who abruptly ended media interviews Tuesday afternoon after being confronted by this woman, Susan Delgado. A spokesperson says it happened here at Galena Park City Hall while Gallegos was attempting to get out the vote. Gallegos admitted to an affair with the former topless dancer.
The mistakes that I have made is a personal one.
But last month, Gallegos, the former firefighter turned politician, vowed to hold on to his seat in District 6.
We intend to win this race with the help of my constituents, my family, my wife, and everybody that knows the good job I've done in Senate 6.
Senator Gallegos joins us now live. Has it been a tough race for you so far?
Well, I mean, it's been, races are always tough. You know, whenever you have an opponent, it's tough. So, I mean, but as you see, we have good support from the community, and we're waiting on the numbers. With 30% of the vote in, we're ahead, and we're just, we'll wait to see what the voters of Senate 6 decide tonight. And I think we're going to, if you look at my supporters and my family and friends behind us, I think we're going to be victorious tonight.
Has this been tough on you? You're dealing with the civil lawsuit and allegations from Susan Delgado.
Well,
has this left you in a tough position?
No, I'm those. That's going to be in the legal courts, and I'm not going to talk. I'm going to talk about my friends and supporters that are here, and so far what's showing on the early vote, and then we'll see what happens.
Encouraged by it so far?
Oh yes. I mean, obviously, whenever you're ahead, you're encouraged.
All right, thank you a lot, Senator. Appreciate your time. Once again, that's Senator Mario Gallegos just arriving here at his headquarters, and meeting and greeting supporters. Will bring you more information as it becomes available. Reporting live, Isaiah Carey, Fox 26 News.
And we just found out Gallegos has a 400-point lead right now. As new election numbers come into us by the minute, we'll give you instant results. Make sure and watch our election ticker at the bottom of your television screen for the very latest. A candidate in one local race who's so worried about voter fraud, he called some friends for help. We'll tell you who showed up to patrol the polls.
Also in the works, an early morning explosion rocks Pasadena and flames burned for hours. One city was supposed to sound the alarm, but residents say they never heard it.
Day 4 of the sunshine. How much longer can it last? I'll tell you coming up in weather.
Open. Close. All right, you got it.
A little girl learns for the first time what it's like to have two working hands.
And we're a nation in love with food, but this love affair could be killing us. A battle is brewing as union leaders for city employees gear up to fight efforts to trim their retirement. Houston City Council is expected to vote tomorrow to put the controversial pension plan before voters in a spring special election. We go right now to Fox 26's Carolyn Canville for the union leaders' plan of attack.
They say there is absolute panic among city workers, fear that their futures are at stake. The city council considers paring down their pension program. But union leaders say their members will not go down without a fight.
And any city employee that's sitting out there not doing anything better wake up and understand You got to do something.
It was a call to arms for leaders of the Municipal Employees Union. They are rallying their members, 23,000 city workers and retirees, to fight to protect the pension program Texas voters passed last fall. A program some reports now say could reward some retirees with million-dollar retirement packages and put the city in a billion-dollar meltdown.
But the average city employee don't even come close to making $1 million.
Wednesday morning, these union leaders say they expect City Council to give the go-ahead to a May 15th special election, which they fear will gut their retirement. They say their elected officials are turning their backs on them.
There are a lot of programs that they took advantage of. Daycare is different. We don't have that opportunity now, so how are our children going to pull themselves up by their bootstraps? They don't have any boots.
The union is preparing to launch a fierce campaign to fight, they say, for their futures.
They already earned this. These people have worked hard for this, and it is totally an attack on the very fiber of our country when you take away something that people have worked most of their lives for.
City Council is expected to vote Wednesday to put the controversial pension program on the ballot in a May 15th special election. Now, the union is calling a mass meeting of its members on March 18th here at union headquarters. They also plan to host a town hall meeting on March 30th. In Southeast Houston, I'm Carolyn Canville, Fox 26 News.
Flames in black smoke shoot from a Pasadena warehouse. An explosion sparked that fire that burned for hours at the herbicide and pesticide plant. Fortunately, no one was hurt, but investigators still don't know what caused that explosion.
Because of chemicals inside the warehouse, officials ordered surrounding communities to shelter in place, but not until hours after the fire started. The mayor of Taylor Lake Village says they didn't get the recommendation from Harris County to shelter in place until about 3 hours after the fire started. Even then, it took several minutes to launch the call because the community's emergency coordinator was out of town. Only about half the residents received the alert.
When they launched the emergency warning system in Pasadena, that doesn't mean we immediately have to launch it here. It's coming this way. The smoke was east of us, and we were really on the fringe of it.
You know, they're talking about expanding Bayport.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought, oh, my goodness, you know, if they start expanding Bayport, who knows if something like that might happen there, and that's even closer to us.
The mayor says some new rules have been implemented after today's emergency that will allow calls to be made earlier. Our election coverage continues with the fight for District 131. Democrat Ron Wilson has represented that district in the Texas State House for more than 25 years.
Tonight, it looks like his tenure might come to an end. He is being challenged by fellow Democrat Alma Allen, and here are the numbers tonight. Surprisingly, Ron Wilson, who's been in the Texas legislature for over 27 years, is losing to his opponent, Alma Allen. It is 53% to 46%, with 4% of the precincts reporting at this time. Now, Wilson has received backlash from fellow Democrats for his stance on congressional redistricting. Fox 26's Dominique Keys has been following the Wilson camp tonight.
Incumbent Ron Wilson is accusing one precinct judge of ballot tampering, and the district attorney's office even came out to investigate.
Who do we want?
Ron Wilson.
How are you, Alma?
The campaign for the state representative District 131 race has been ugly. Incumbent Ron Wilson's own party members turned against him after Wilson sided against Democrats during congressional redistricting.
Whenever I vote in the best interest of my people and my community, it can never hurt me, no matter what they throw at me.
Wilson called out the new Black Panther Party to help watch the polls after he says he heard his opposers were going to attempt to sabotage ballot results. This afternoon at Windsor Village Elementary, this precinct judge is accused of voting for an elderly woman. New Black Panther Party leader Quanell X says one of his poll watchers witnessed it.
In fact, punching the ballot for her, that's illegal. That's unethical. It's unprofessional. It's against the precinct judge rules and regulations.
Ma'am, were you trying to sway votes earlier?
No. Can you leave, please?
Eugene Pack is the Republican precinct judge here and also saw the alleged ballot tampering, which he describes as a misunderstanding.
I didn't hear anybody trying to sway a vote
in particular. I just think that two people had tempers flaring and they should have worked it out.
We're running a very clean and I'm trying to run a professional race, as I'd like to bring that same professionalism to Austin when we go.
Both candidates say they would not interfere with the voting process, and both say when they win, they will win fair and square. In Southwest Houston, I'm Dominique Keith, Fox 26 News.
Once again, Ron Wilson is trailing in this race. You can see instant primary results at the bottom of your screen throughout tonight's newscast. The latest numbers will be on the Fox 26 ticker. A Russian mother's desperate search for help led her to Houston.
Now she and her daughter are in the Bayou City testing amazing technology that will change a young girl's life.
And skipping the fast food burger in favor of a fast food salad, you may actually be adding calories to your diet and adding inches to your hips. Last night, we introduced you to Kitty Samaya, an adorable Russian child who was born without a left hand.
Kitty's parents searched all over the world for help for their daughter. Houston's Linda Bean of Pediatric Prosthetics answered their prayers. Now, Kitty has traveled to Houston to get a special arm with movable fingers, and she won't have long to wait.
That most processes take about 3 months. They take about 2 or 3 days.
That's because Linda has made arms for hundreds of children. This morning, Kitty got her first lesson with her new arm. Thursday night, we continue Kitty's story as she gets her new movable arm, and she is so precious and so happy about it.
She's got a big old smile.
Voters head to the polls in Texas, and we're closely following the races. An update coming up.
Also ahead, a mother gives her children apple juice, but with a little something extra. Now mom's behind bars.
Another beautiful day in the Bayou City. How much longer will we enjoy this great weather? Fox 26 Chief Meteorologist Cecilia Sinclair has the forecast in just a few minutes.
I want you to just calm, hang with us. Things will go real fast.
And when a pregnancy is threatened, local doctors race to the rescue, and we're right there with them. Well, you can't blame the weather for not getting out to vote today because it was so nice. Didn't it get up in the 80s? It was hot out there.
Low 80s, nice and warm before a front moved through. We had a front move through. Hard to believe because we didn't have any weather associated with it, but we are enjoying some drier air. We have a wonderful weather window to share with you tonight because it shows a beautiful sunset, and a lot of us are spending the time maybe off for spring break. This one's sent to us by W.F. Smiles of Huffman. That little shadow you see there, that's the silhouette of his dog Smoke, and he said Smoke is just a big ham. He likes to get in all the pictures. Well, maybe you're heading out to the water this week. It is spring break for a lot of folks, and it looks like we have a couple more days of beautiful spring weather. Best days will be Wednesday and Thursday this week, and then the clouds start to roll back in on Friday. Saturday, a few showers, and Sunday looks like the most likely day for rain. So get in that outdoor activity while you can, and be sure to wear that sunscreen. Across the state, it has been clear almost the entire day, and that's because dry air coming on down behind that front, which is now offshore. It's not much of a contrast as far as temperatures go, but the humidity levels have been dropping dramatically. In fact, you don't see humidity levels like this too often around the Houston area. 31% is the current humidity level. North winds at 9 miles an hour, and the temperatures right now in the 60s. The high today was 82 at Bush Airport. It's not a record. In fact, we got up to 85 a few days ago, but the record for today at Bush Airport is 88. Now, Galveston did set a record today. They reached 80 degrees. Low temperature at Bush Airport this morning, by the way, was 51. Boaters, we do have a caution beyond 20 nautical miles this evening. Tomorrow we'll see southeast to east winds at 10 to 15 knots with the seas running 3 to 5 feet. Allergy-wise, it's not the best time of the year, and I'm afraid to say we are expecting extremely heavy levels of tree pollen again. Most of that is coming from oak. Mold spores tomorrow should be medium, and grass pollen levels should be low. We are seeing some dry air working its way into Houston, southeast Texas once again. That shows up very nicely on the water vapor imagery, very dark areas, and much of the country this evening is dry. There's not a whole lot of precipitation precipitation to look at, especially out west and over the central part of the country, but there have been some showers over the southeast, and some cold air sweeping southward could bring some wintry weather to parts of South Carolina and even northwestern Georgia tonight. But tomorrow, that part of the country will be drying out. Another front will be approaching. This one will move through on Thursday, and it's going to give us one more shot of dry air before we start to see some changes. So more sunshine on the way for us tomorrow. A few clouds maybe Thursday, and then as high pressure pushes off to the east, our southeasterly winds return. We're expecting the clouds to return Friday, and then, as I mentioned before, some showers on Saturday. So here's how it's shaping up for tonight. Lows in the 40s and 50s, clear and cool. Tomorrow's highs in the 60s to near 70. A very nice day, and lighter winds than what we saw today. So get outside and enjoy it, but don't forget the sunglasses and the sunscreen. There's your 7-day Foxcast. Looks like we'll see highs in the 60s and 70s for the next 7 days. Lows in the 40s and the 50s. Again, we are expecting some rain over the weekend. The best chance of that will be on Sunday, so plan accordingly. And in the meantime, have a wonderful Wednesday.
Voters across Texas heading to the polls, and we've got team coverage of the election results right here on Fox 26.
We begin with an update on the Democratic presidential primaries. Let's take a look at the graphic and see what we've got so far. John Kerry has easily won the primaries in Texas, Florida, Louisiana, and Mississippi. Today's wins make it easier by the fact that his closest rival, John Edwards, dropped out of the race last week.
A voter update on one of tonight's most anticipated races now. Congressman Chris Bell is in a tough battle with Al Green for the Democratic nomination in newly created District 9. You see it right there. Al Green really leading the way with 64% of the vote versus Chris Bell's 33%. And that's still only with 9% of the precincts reporting.
And a live look at the Chris Bell site right now. As we told you, he is trailing competitor Al Green. Congressman Chris Bell has been in office for only a year. He is trying to switch congressional districts, going from the 25th, which he was basically redrawn out of, and now going for the 9th. And he thought that he might have an edge on his opponents, but he is trailing Al Green.
A voter update now in the Republican race for Congressional District 2. Former Judge Ted Poe, known for handing down unusual sentences, is winning big time. You got the numbers right there on your screen. Ted Poe, 54%, Mark Henry, 17%, and George Festuca at 14%.
8 candidates in that race, but Judge Ted Poe, former Judge Ted Poe, apparently doing very well and out in front with a big margin. Tonight's Republican winner in the newly drawn District 2 congressional seat that stretches from North Harris County to Jefferson County will challenge Democrat incumbent Congressman Nick Lamson. Moving on to the Republican primary for the District 10 seat in Congress. Again, 8 candidates are vying for the GOP nomination. Among them, Austin native Michael McCall, Springs Ben Strusan, young Republican Brad Taschenberg, former civil court judge John Devine, Cypress businessman Dave Phillips, and former city councilman John Kelly. And a lot of candidates in this race, more than likely possibly a runoff with so many candidates.
The newly drawn District 10 covers a wide area all the way from West Houston to Austin.